Hi, this is Custom Works. I'm Clint Allen, and today we're going to be talking about proper procedure when you do injector changes or injector cup changes so you don't end up with this stupidity. Yes, it's amazing what some people post on YouTube. I personally myself would have been embarrassed, but that's a whole nother story. So this is not about how to remove your injectors, how to remove your injector cups, or any of that. This is just how to prevent filling up your cylinders. So when you go back to start your truck after you're done working on it, she snaps off just like that. I've been doing this my entire life, working on 7.3s. I know what I'm talking about, so stick around here. Let's get the valve covers off. Let's get the wiring harnesses disconnected, and let's get those off and out of there. Let's go ahead and let's remove all 8 of the glow plugs. Now, set them glow plugs out and get them cleaned up. Let's not worry about those for right now. On the number 4 cylinder, let's start with that injector first. And that one is on the driver's side, starting from the front, 2nd cylinder in. Easiest one to get at. Now, I want you to take probably about a 16-inch piece of coat hanger wire or whatever the case may be. Slide her on down through the glow plug hole, and let's run that cylinder up top dead center. Pull the wire back out, set her aside because we're going to need it on the other side. So everything we're talking about here, we're going to do the same exact thing on the opposite side, the passenger side, a 2nd cylinder in. But right now, we're just discussing the driver's side. So we got our cylinder ran up, top dead center. And now what we want to do is remove both bolts from the injector. The back one, or the top one, or the one by the valley sits proud. And that one right there gets removed last. Let's get the bottom bolt out first out of the injector. Let's get that out. Let's put her in a plastic bag or a tin can, something along that line, so don't throw it somewhere on the truck or whatever so you end up banging it later and losing them. Let's get the top bolt that sits proud. Let's get that one out of there. And then what we're going to do is loosen up the injector. Don't pull it out. We're not pulling it out at this point in time. Let's just loosen it up. Get your hand on top of the solenoid of the injector. Let's just pry it up a little bit, because if you're working on an original install, they're probably going to be a bit of a hard to get out of there. But either which way, just pry on it a little bit. And if she pops up, just push it down right away. Put it back down into place. Don't ram it back down there. Just, you know, push it back down so those O-rings are keeping the seal. Then what we're going to do is I have a shop vac. The end on this shop vac is 1.25 inches. Seems to work out just perfect for me. Now I've been doing this ever since I've been removing and working on injectors or injector cups. So what we're going to do is get the old vacuum cleaner going, get her up into the engine compartment. Let's get this ready to go into the hole of the injector. So what we're going to do is pull the injector out. Let's do it fast. Let's get that injector out. Let's get this in there. Don't ram it all the way down inside. This still needs to get air in order for the vacuuming to work. If you put it down there too tight, it's just going to lock itself up and everything's going to end up in the bottom of the cylinder. So let's get it in there so it's snug, but it's still sucking a bit of air from the top. And just let it run 5-10 minutes. Sometimes I leave it run longer depending on what's going on or what I'm working on in the shop. But either way, just let that run. Now, we haven't touched any of the other injectors yet. Let's not worry about those at the moment. So we're still on cylinder number 4. We got the vacuum cleaner in there, sucking out the oil, sucking out the diesel fuel, and then we're going to come and we're going to make 8 of these. Let's get some paper toweling. Let's get a whole piece. Now, paper toweling, the blue shop rags, the lint-free ones, I don't care. The whole point is a piece of paper toweling. Let's get that bent in half. Let's go through, bend it in half. Third, half, and crease that in half. Let's go through on the bottom here. Let's get that twisted like you're twisting a piece of copper wire. And now what we're going to do is, vacuum cleaner's running. Let's pull her out. Let's have this, get her down in there, have yourself a screwdriver or a rod ready, and push it all the way down into the bottom of the injector cup itself. What we're trying to prevent is filling up them cylinders with gunk and garbage and crap and hydrolocking and keeping the truck from starting. When we get to the point of everything's fixed, we're all excited, and we want to fire the truck up, and we don't want what happened in the videos that I previously showed you. So we have that in the cylinder number 4. We have 7 more of those ready, and now we're going to go to work, and we're going to remove every one, the last 3 per se, on the driver's side. And the same thing, you loosen it up, loosen the injector up after you got the bolts out, and you don't have to remove the top bolts on these. But if you're doing it for the first time, it's a lot easier if you remove both bolts. Bottom one first, top one second. Loosen it up. Last 3 injectors. Pull the injector out, immediately get the paper in there. We're trying not to fill up the cylinders with junk here. I'm going to keep on harping on this. So if you're down in the comments going, well, geez, you know, I got it the first time. Well, there's some people that don't. Sorry. So we have all the injectors out now on the driver's side. We have the paper down into the injector cups, preventing diesel and oil from getting down into the cylinders. Now, the vacuum cleaner later, you can come back through and suck those cylinders out, because even though we're got the vacuum cleaner in there and we're sucking out number 4, there's still more in there. Now we're going to go to the passenger side, second cylinder in, get the wire in there, run her up the top dead center, same thing, loosen up the injector, pull it out, get the vacuum cleaner in there, same thing, let it run 5-10 minutes, pull her on out, get your paper in there, and now you have everything removed, all your injectors removed out of 8 cylinders. You have your paper in there, and that's stopping the stuff from getting down into the cylinders. Now, once again, with the vacuum cleaner, I know I've said it, I'm going to say it again, but while you're working on your injectors, whether you're putting new O-rings on, somebody made a comment about that I say O-rings too quickly. Sorry, that's just the way I am. So, whether you're putting a new O-rings on or whatever you're doing, replacing the injectors new, whatever the case may be, the whole point is that we want to stop everything from getting down into the cylinders. So we're at the stage of the game where we're going to put the injectors back in. So get in there, vacuum out the cylinder one at a time, get all the oil and the gunk out of there, pull the paper out, get back in there with some lint free, and clean everything up real nicely. Now on the injectors themselves, don't forget you need a little bit of lube. There's some people who say, well, just dunk the whole thing in oil. You know, if you want to do that, that's fine. I don't like that. Get yourself some engine rebuilding lube and just lightly lube up each of the O-rings that are on the injector. Go inside a little bit where the O-rings are going to be there too, and pop her back in there. Put your 2 bolts back in and run yourself all the way down the line doing the same thing. Vacuum it out, pull the paper, clean it out, injector in there, tighten them down, boom, 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 all 8 of them are done. Leave the glow plugs out. Now 99 on up 2003, what we want to do is on, if you're not privy to this, on the passenger side of the vehicle, you always notice a wire that looks like an old fuse. Well, you pull that apart and that you can jump to the battery itself, and that'll actually turn the starter over. On the OBS models that would not have this, you know, have the old Lone Wolf 1000 per se, the old hit the button to turn the starter, and ignition off in park or ignition off, manual transmission in neutral. 5 times, 5 seconds. Let's take the valve covers. Just put them on there, 1 bolt on top on each side. Don't tighten them down. Just get the bolts in there so they don't come flying off of there. And we're gonna jump that starter 5 times, 5 seconds. What we're doing is we're getting the oil back in to the heads, back into the injectors, and we're building pressure there. 5 times, 5 seconds. So we got that part of it done right there. We know because the glow plugs were out that anything that was in the cylinder is gone. We built oil pressure by doing the 5 on 5. So let's go through now and put the glow plugs back in. Let's get those tightened down. Let's go and get the valve cover and the gaskets and the wiring harness. Let's get those all back in there. Get the heads back on, meaning the valve covers. And then what we want to do is go into the truck, and we're going to turn the key on. 3 seconds, 5 times. We're building fuel pressure. OBS, what you're going to need to do is crank 3 seconds, 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 wait, and then hit her. 99 on up. We're just going to turn the key to the on position. We're going to let that pump run, and we're going to build up fuel pressure. Once that's all handled, we're going to go back out to the engine bay. We're going to pull the dipstick out. Where are we at with oil? Are we full of oil? If we're down 3 quarts, yeah, I might be being fussy, but if we're down 3 quarts, let's get 3 quarts back in there. Let's get it back to where it should be. Back into the truck again, hit the key, hit her on, and within a few cranks, it will fire back up. Absolutely will fire back up unless you didn't hook something up right or you nicked something while you're putting the injectors back in. And that is how you stop the ongoing long crank while your start is going up in smoke. So, I hope you've learned something today, and you take it easy, and you have a good day. You're still here yet? It's over. Oh, I know. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, the little bell, you know, the little bell, and that'll tell you every time I post a new video. Also go root around in my previous videos, and you'll find a lot of interesting content. Until then, go home. Oh yeah, the garbage can's over there. You know, don't be making a mess. You know, clean up after yourself. Go, go.
Listen closely for an